Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me again. Today we're going to talk about basically how to set goals and actually achieve them. That's it. So a little known fact about me is that I have never not achieved a goal that I have set. Every single goal I've ever set myself, I have achieved. That sounds really pretentious, but actually I think it's something that I want to share with you guys because clearly it somehow works, and therefore why shouldn't I share that with other people? So I don't want to sound big-headed here, modest, aren't I? But if you guys also want to achieve your goals, then stick with me and we're going to go through that today. If you haven't already, please do remember to press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. The bell icon will help you out because it'll give you a notification every single time I upload a video. I upload every week, and usually now more than that, especially if I feel like it. So today we're going to talk about goal setting, and goal setting I think is absolutely freaking vital to anybody's life, and the fact that some people don't do it baffles me. But don't worry guys, if that's you, we're going to cover that off today. So I've got some little bit of resources with us today. I've got with us the laptop, which has some of my old goals on it. I'm just going to go ahead and bring some of those up right now so that we can laugh at my goals basically, and as and when I ever achieved them, because if we can't laugh at ourselves, what's the freaking point? By the way guys, if you want to grab a worksheet that can help you through this process, then just go ahead and click on the link in the description. I've put together a little PDF for you guys that you guys can download and fill out to set your goals so that you can actually achieve them. I screenshotted and saved some assets that I had found. Okay, so my earliest goals that I can find are in 2015, and honestly this one is quite sad because I drew two pictures. By the way, I'm not an artist of drawing at anything ever, but I drew some pictures and I drew where I was then, and I drew kind of where I wanted to be in the future. And they're rubbish goals, but the pictures are actually really interesting to look at because my before picture honestly makes me want to cry. I was in a really dark place at the time, really dark place. But the after picture where I wanted to be is really funny because that's basically kind of where we are now. And written on this board is speaking, online photography training, a marketing agency, focus, strategy, direction, resilience. I would say that I've achieved all of those things because, you know, we're sat here now. I run a successful marketing agency. I have got insane amount of focus. I work with strategy a lot. I have direction and resilience, and I'm absolutely okay with saying that because shit's the truth. If you don't know where your heart is, look at where your mind goes when it wanders. That's so useful. How you actually set your goals and come up with them is really important. And one way that I like to look at this is basically, you can choose to if you want to, but I like to look at like the wheel of life. So the wheel of life basically is like a circle cut up into different segments, and different segments have got different things in it, like health, like relationships, social life, family I think's in there. You've got profession or occupation, you've got money, so financial, and all sorts of other different things. So in each of those sections, one really good way of doing it is to basically rate where you currently are. And if you rate where you currently are and then where you want to be, you'll find that some segments are really off balance with where you want them to be and where you are now. And you have to be really brutally honest to yourself. So when you've done and you kind of have got assessment of where you currently are, which is so important, you can then start to look at, okay, how can I get there? What do I actually want to achieve in this particular area? So if we looked back at Alfie, for example, Alfie's a dog, by the way, just in case you're brand new to this channel. Alfie's one of my main dogs, and my main goal for 2019, my main goal for 2019 was for him to win out of grade 2 to grade 3. So that's an agility grade thing. And I really wanted him to win out of grade 2 because we've been stuck there for ages and we just weren't doing great. So I was like, right, what's needed to get to that? So you've set your initial goal, you're like a big one, and then you're like, okay, what do I need to do to get to that? And this can just be one thing. So for Alfie, we needed one thing to do that. We just needed clean agility runs. We just needed to go clear and have a clear round, quite straightforward. But How do we get that? So to get that, I needed confident, reliable contacts and weaves, which are two different parts of agility. So I went away and I trained a running dog walk for Alfie, which is a quite complex behavior for them to do. So essentially they run full pelt over the piece of equipment and still hit their criteria on both sides. So I trained him a running contact, which was super hard and took months and months and months, but we did it. And I needed reliable A-frame, so we trained that. And I also needed reliable weave entries. I think we did that. And instead of just winning out into grade 3, before August of 2019, we actually won into grade 3, grade 4 and grade 5. And we left the 2019 season 1 win off of grade 6. I would say that goal is accomplished. You want to start with your big goal and then you want to break that down into little sections. So for example, for me personally, I would like to gain in 2021 20,000 new subscribers. If you can be one of those, please do press the subscribe button, that would be great. But how do I need to do that? Right, I need to create great content that is really useful for the audience and for you guys that are sat at home. So that's something that I really need to do, so I can break it down and then I can split things into quarters. Splitting things into quarters is actually really useful. If you've not already, you might want to go ahead and read a book called the 12-week year, the 12-week work year, the book on 12 weeks, because it's really interesting to look at actually setting shorter term goals is really easy to achieve than an annual one. So with that in mind, you can break that overall annual goal down into sections with exponential growth between, and therefore you can hit your goals earlier on, which will keep you motivated to achieve them. So splitting things into quarters is really, really important. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this, I think. Let's go and move around. So guys, welcome to my whiteboard. Just FYI that my handwriting is shocking. So let's say that our goal for the year is to make £20,000 from portrait photography, okay? So our main overriding goal is 20k from portrait photography. And by make, I'm talking about overall turnover, because otherwise it gets a little bit confusing going into profit. So let's say that this is our goal. That's absolutely fine. We can definitely work with this. That is not a goal. That's not a goal. First things first, look at your goal and think, okay, is this smart? And honestly, SMART goals are really important. So is this specific? Yes, it is, okay? Because it's making 20k from portrait photography. This bit makes it specific. So we've got a specific goal here. Let's look at measurable. Is this measurable? Yes, because there is a clear metric in there. That's money. That is measurable because you can just check your bank account to see what money's come in. So you've got measurable. Okay, is it achievable? You guys, you have to look into yourselves really introspectively and say, look, is this goal achievable? You have to make it achievable. Otherwise you will never, ever, ever set achievable goals that you will then achieve. So it has to be achievable but difficult. Okay, like a bit difficult. Okay, so we're making 20k, that's fine. Let's look at the next one, which is so is it realistic? Is that realistic to make 20k from portrait photography? Do you have an existing photography business? Yes, it's achievable, 100%. Do you not have a business at all? A little bit less realistic, if we're being honest. So it'll take you a few months to start the business. It'll then take you a few months to get going. Realistically, making 20k from portrait photography in your first couple of months is unrealistic. So make an easier goal. ART, time. Is it time specific? No, but it would be if we just put by December 31st, 2021. That is now a goal that we can work with here, guys, but we don't just stop here. This is where people stop and they're like, oh, it's a SMART goal, I'm gonna do it. No, you won't. You won't do this. Say that this was my goal, just for an example here. How would I go about breaking this down? Okay, so it's January 2021 now, like the start. It's like what, 3rd of January at the moment when we're recording this now. I love to make videos on a Sunday, of course. So 12 months, and therefore 20, let me get a calculator. You guys know my maths is shocking. Okay, so 20,000 divided by 12 is, we need £1,600 a month. So we're already in January. Are you gonna make that much this month? Maybe not. Maybe you need to reevaluate and switch it into a seasonal pattern so that you're making a lot more money in your peak months than you are in your quiet months. That again is gonna be completely up to you. But let's just say that we need this per month. Okay, how are we gonna get that per month? What are we going to do? How many sessions do we want to do? What's your average profit margin? What's your average sale? So my average sale is like about £900. So let's use £900. So I need to have 1.85 sessions a month. So I need, let's round it up, 2 sessions per month to make this, which will then make this a reality. So I then need to break down, how am I going to get 2 sessions a month? What am I going to do to get those people through the door? And therefore then you break that on, and then you end up with sub goals, sub targets, KPIs to get to your main goal. That makes sense? Let's do another example. Yeah, let's look at one of my goals. I'm going to get personal here. Where we live, we've got a bit of land, and I want to build a space on it, a studio space on it, not massive, about the size of a double garage, and that's something that I really want to do. We've got planning permission for it already, we've kind of got the finance for it already, but we've just not been able to like do it, okay? So I want to build, is that specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Yes, it's either going to be built or not built, isn't it, at the end of the day? Is it achievable? Yeah, it is. Is it realistic? Yes, it is. Is it time bound? Yes, because we've got in 2021. So this is a perfectly adequate goal to have. But to just set that goal, that looks like a massive mountain that we need to climb. And this is basically sat on top of a huge mountain, and we're like here. You ain't going to be achieving your goals if you are tiny weeny at the bottom of a massive mountain, which to be fair is pretty much where I'm sat right now looking at this project that we've got ahead of us. So you need to break it down so that you're breaking up the mountain in little chunks. So in terms of building a studio, we've already got planning permission, so a big thing is out of the way there. So in terms of what we do next, now realistically we need to break this down into different mini steps. So it could be to find a builder. I mean, to be fair, Dan took a bricklaying course, so he'll probably do it because he likes to save money, just saying. So we find a builder, that's probably step 1. What's step 2? Foundations. Let's break ground. So breaking ground will be like, we need a celebration for that. So we're going to break ground. By the way, left-handed, not conducive for whiteboard work. What split breaking ground with a studio done, so then we can build. And therefore then the last thing that we would do would be to finish it and move in. So you've broken it down to little steps, and then you can break that down a bit more. So break ground is really vague. So make that smart, make that smart, make that smart. And ideally by making them smart, you'll also have time limits on them. So therefore then you can set them. Okay, does this make sense? I hope it does. So you've broken your mountain up into little steps to achieve your main goal. Therefore you're more likely to achieve your main goal. So then all that's left is to achieve it. Now comes the tricky bit, guys, because if you're not used to planning out your days, your life, your months, your weeks, you're going to find this a little bit difficult. But I would suggest at least putting some things ideally on a wall, because if you can see them, you're more likely to do them. But as an absolute bare minimum, grab a calendar, grab a diary, or bang it into your phone. Any of the above. So then you want to break those goals down. So let's take those 4 studio ones down, and you break them up into quarters. So you've got quarter 1, quarter 2. If you're new to the business world, quarters basically are just 3 months of a year. So you've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Those are your fiscal quarters, I think they're called. By the way, if you start this not in January, that's fine. Quarter 1 is from whatever you're working on at the moment. Or you can start in quarter 3 and wrap round. Completely up to you. So you end up with a sheet of goal 1 with sub-goal 1, sub-goal, all smart, and then goal 2. If you're really kind of like advanced at goal setting and you're really determined and you're really disciplined, you can go ahead and have basically as many goals as you want. I will run out usually with about 10 to 11 goals every year, big goals, and then loads of different sub goals, but that's completely up to you. If this is the first time, start with a couple. Don't overdo yourself, okay? So you've got all of your goals and then your sub goals, and then you plot them. Okay, so you can break your quarters into months. Month 3, and if you really wanted to, break them down into weeks. So let's just say you've got 4 weeks. So you've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 going across. That's fine, but what you need to do is you need to put your end points in. So if on your SMART goal for this one you said you would end that April, then you would basically block out this section here, and you need to make sure that that is filled in, because that's going to be finished by April. So if that's going to be done by April, SMART goal 2 might be done by, I don't know, June, and then this one could be done by maybe, I don't know, October. So you end up with a mapped out plan, and then you put these into your diaries with your sub tactics to achieve them all the way through. And when you've done that, you end up basically with a blueprint for how to basically succeed at life. And it doesn't always go to plan, guys. Let's just come on to that now. So let's say we're at our SMART goal 2 point, we've achieved this one, boshed that one off, and we're at this one here, and something happens. Your mum dies, your relationship breaks down and you move out. You just annoy. This is now no longer realistic. It's not realistic anymore. This has happened to me so many times. It's not realistic. That's fine. You have to adapt. So don't give up. Just adapt it. So look, okay, we're not going to be able to get this one done for quarter 2, but maybe we can move it to the end of quarter 4, and if I'm back on my feet by then, we can achieve that. So that moves to here, and then this moves along. And that way you're not actually giving up on your goals, and you're not giving up on your dreams, but what you're actually doing is you're just moving them to make them a little bit more realistic. And that is one of the most important things you can possibly do, because it will also protect your mental health. Freaking love goal setting. Remember guys, if you've never done a goal setting before, keep it really simple, keep it small, keep it sharp, always keep it smart, because that's probably the most important thing. That just rhymes. If this video has been helpful for you, please do let me know in the comment section below, and also, you know, by any other method you would like to. Remember to please press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because they really help me out and make sure that I know that I'm creating content that you guys like, which is really important. So I know this wasn't really photography related, but it's life related, and I think if you can get your life in order, you can also improve your photography. I mean, I don't know if that's actually true, but it sounds like it would be a good thing to do. So that's it for today, and I'll see you all again really soon.